Hey, what's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary, and we have an exciting conversation to have with you today. Okay, we have a former U.S. Marine, retired police officer that has, basically gone from protecting and serving to inspiring and delivering value and helping people in this online marketing business, this game, this career, right? That is a lot easier on the back and the knees, and most likely also probably in terms of stress. But that's his story. I won't tell it for him. We'll hear it right from the horse's mouth. So with that being said, let me welcome to the show, Brian Cook. What's up,
Hey,
Brian?
Dave. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. Was I correct there? The online, build your own business, work from home in your laptop. Of course, it's not easy. It's not a magical money machine. Was it easier on the back and the knees and on the stress cycles than law enforcement work?
Yes, and absolutely yes.
Good, man. Well, tell us how you got kind of started in this world in the first place, and then what led you to Legendary.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just a simple guy that grew up in Deer Lodge, Montana, where there's more cows than there is humans. And I grew up, with the entrepreneur, the Kool-Aid stand, hustling to mow lawns. And I just always knew there was something bigger for me in life, but didn't know what it was. But I did know I wanted to serve people. And my mom told me when I was 4 that I told her I was going to become a police officer because I saw a state trooper changing the tire of somebody on the side of the road. And not knowing anything about entrepreneurship, my grandfather was a multimillionaire with his own business, but I had no idea what that meant. That meant hard labor in my mind.
Yeah.
And it didn't mean leverage, right? So I didn't really pursue that. I pursued my dream of helping people, and I went in the Marine Corps. One, to serve my country, but 2, to become fast track myself to becoming a police officer. One thing I learned in the Marine Corps is that I don't like being told what to do. So kind of the wrong branch to be in if you don't like to be told what to do. But so I got out, I served my country honorably, and I got out and ended up in Memphis, Tennessee, and became a police officer. And loved it in the beginning. I was the cop that most people didn't like. I had the cape on my back, the S on my chest. I was going to change the world and stop all the bad. But around 5 years, I kind of got burnt out and realized that this is not everything up it's cracked to be. Nobody's like, hey, let's call 911 and hang out with a cool cop and have donuts and coffee. So I just kind of didn't know what to do. And then a tragic event happened in 2000 where I almost lost my life, and another police officer lost his life. And it kind of shocked me. It was one of those life-defining moments. And I'm like, I got to do something else. But again, my mind was never on online. This is 2000. So it wasn't the biggest arena like it is now. But I didn't have any idea on how to do anything else. So I thought I might become an airline pilot. And I started taking some lessons. And maybe people don't know, but cops don't get paid a lot of money. And the instructor said, look, you got to take 2 or 3 lessons a week. And I'm like, I can't even afford 1 lesson a week. So I quit that. And I went back and just doing the same thing, going to the job I couldn't stand, living in the city I didn't like. And it wasn't until I met my now wife that she started in direct sales. And I saw a vision of I could do something else with leverage by basically selling somebody else's products. And because of the desire to not be in this current situation I was in, I was blessed to replace my law enforcement income and walk away from that job.
Good for you.
And it wasn't until about 2009 that I saw, some of the big names doing some affiliate marketing that I thought, well, I could create my own product. And I did that, and I affiliated my own product, and, was really lucky to do well with that. And then I don't know what happened, Dave, along the way is that I got distracted. I kept, I felt like a loyalty to network marketing.
Yeah.
Because that's what really saved my life. I mean, I was, I had bad PTSD, and I kept going back to that. And it wasn't until 2015 when my company got shut down by the federal government that I was like, I got to do something else because this is just not working out for me. And I really fell into affiliate marketing kind of on accident, not with intention to build it. And I was starting getting, small checks here and there from things that I liked, and then I started my own agency of running people's Facebook ads and advertising and stuff. And then I fell back into it. And I saw your program. Somebody on TikTok is talking about Legendary Marketer, and probably like most people, I had to see it 6, 7 times before I jumped in. And I jumped in and I was like, this is so good. I can think of so many people that could use this training. And I mean, I was like $7 really. And the value, Dave, was over the top. So I just started doing what we do. And I'm just like, hey, man, I know you are in network marketing and you don't like talking to people, or you don't like recruiting your family and friends. You should go check out this Legendary Marketer. It's got your name written all over it. My friends were like, this is so cool. This is so awesome. So the value that you provide is really what drew me back in, because now I don't have to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my short story.
That's cool, man. I've got about 20 minutes left of training day. So your cop, like going in super green, reminded me of training day with
Denzel.
The hell's Denzel, but the other, the greenhorn, right? Who comes in and he's like super ready to save the world, right? Yep. And then he slowly gets kind of exposed to. Now, obviously, that's dramatic, but anyways, it reminds me.
It's not too far off, Dave.
Hey, I'm sure you got some stories about some things that you've seen, man. So I'm glad that you were able to make it out of all of that safely, and I really can not relate to that level of PTSD, that specific type, but certainly PTSD and those things are so real for so many people in so many different ways. We often hear and talk about it from a standpoint of military service and law enforcement work, but gosh, there's so many people who have that just from their childhoods, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
So when you say leverage, that's what we titled today's show, how to create leverage for more freedom. Explain what you mean by that and what your understanding of that is more specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. So my leverage is I don't want to trade my time for money. So that means I want we've been blessed, my wife and I, to adopt 3 little kids here in Las Vegas. And I want to spend time with my kids because I have an older child that's 28 that I raised when I was a police officer, where I was trading my time for money. And I didn't get to spend the right amount of time with him. I didn't have leverage. I had to show up to work or I didn't make money. With leverage, that means I've got multiple streams of income coming in, regardless of what I do. Regardless if I show up in front of my laptop or my computer, that income stream's coming in because I've set that program up and it's on autopilot and it's making me income so I can go do the things that are important and raise 3, children that are going to add to this world versus take away from this world. So that's what leverage is to me, Dave.
Yeah. And just so I want to give my definition, if you don't mind, as well.
Absolutely.
I want to add some of my perspective to that. Sometimes we think of like an investment or stock portfolio as leverage, and it is, right? Because I can take, say, $10,000 and earn, say, 10% from that, and that's going to, just in the first year. And 10% is a very conservative average. I think it's the S&P 500's average over the past so many years. I'm going to make $1,000 on that money, doing nothing, just letting it sit there, right? Leverage might be that you bought a Bitcoin and it went from 5 to 50,000, whatever. I don't want to get too much into cryptocurrency because it gets all of our little, get rich quick. We have enough issues with distraction. So I like to talk about stuff like real estate or the stock market because it's more reality based, right? And it also gets us in the mindset for more kind of long-term thinking. And when I say long-term, I don't mean 40, 50 years. I mean 5, 10 years. That's long-term to me, right? That means that within the next decade, if you do like if you are super focused on a couple of business objectives and you stash money away in various investment mechanisms, that in 10 years, 5 to 10 years max, your life can be set up. You can be set up to have a completely different future and maybe even stop working or dial back work. That's about as close to reality as possible. Not 40, 50 years, stop working when you're 80 and your kids are, you're not even healthy enough to chase your grandkids around or whatever, as active enough. But here's what else leverage means. Here's what else leverage means. I said that to say this, that I want you to think about something. For the past, say, 8, 9, 10 years, I've had people watching my videos around the clock to the tune of tens of thousands of views per day, around the clock, making purchases. Essentially, I'm having one-on-one presentations with people around the clock. And I'm watching Training Day, laying in bed, taking a nap, walking the dog, whatever, playing with my kids. Mm-hmm. And those videos are presenting to people around the clock, making transactions, right? Making money. Gives me the ability to come back from what I'm doing and hit the stats dashboard and see them hopefully increase, right? Not always,
right?
But ideally, hopefully increase. So, man, that's the type of leverage that not a lot of us really think about, because even when we get into things like network marketing, Brian, we're still grinding, making the three-way calls, the home presentations, webinars all the time, grind travel, right? Go do the 2-on-1s, right?
Yep,
Block and tackle, right?
Yep.
The sneak attack, which was one of my personal kind of, that was how I got into network marketing. I was invited to a business meeting and I was honored. And when I got there, they locked the door and out came the whiteboard, and it's like, oh snap. What is going down right now? Right. We bring out the lotions, potions, and pills. And before you know it, we're applying things on the top of our hands and all this kind of stuff. And then I'm calling mom, right? Because I'm fresh out of drug treatment back in 2005, bro.
Right.
I'm calling mom. I'm working at a telemarketing company. And this lady, Katrina, says, "You look like a sharp guy. Do you keep your business options open?" And I'm like, glad somebody noticed,
Right.
And at the end of the meeting, I'm calling mom going, "Hey, mom, two things. I need you to come pick me up. And can I borrow some money?"
Yeah. Can I borrow $500?
Yeah, exactly. So they can front load me with all these various different products that are going to sit under my bed.
Right.
If you were never in network marketing, you can't laugh at that. But if you were, you're dying inside right now because it's true. So this internet marketing, doing affiliate marketing and so forth, where we have leverage through content, leverage through these social media platforms. We're not on scrolling cat pictures. We're creating content that's now with platforms like TikTok and stuff, having the ability to go viral. I've seen people starting YouTube channels to where they take 6-9 months off because their videos are still being pushed out by YouTube and they're still generating traffic. So that's my definition also of leverage. What comes up for you as you hear my perspective, Brian?
Well, first of all, I get fired the F up because I just love it. I mean, if leverage doesn't fire you up, then you need to go check with your doctor because maybe your heart's not working. The leverage, like you said, to sleep in because you've created content out there that's adding value to people's lives, that's showing that there is a way out of the current situation they're in. And by, Dave, you said powerful things there, but the one thing I would add to that is when you get those phone calls or you get those emails or those texts, it's like, you saved my life or you helped me out, because you show me there's a different way to do things. And now I'm living financially free, and I don't have to work for somebody else, and because of you. Those are the things that when we provide the value that that helps people, but those extra little helps, that's the leverage that you can never put a monetary value to, because you actually probably influenced a whole generation by creating something like this. And I truly believe that Legendary Marketer is going to do that for many people. I totally want to say thank you for what you've done, because I know the back end of what you've done. You had to put in tons of money and tons of work to make this system work, and it already is. But I'm so fired up to talk to you about leverage and what you've got going on, and how many people that we can help, and people that are watching this. The thing is that you said people watching thousands and thousands of minutes and hours of your stuff. Is if I can do one thing from talking with you, if we can help somebody get into an action to do one more thing today, or maybe shoot some content, or not kick their own ass for critiquing their video, and just go out and do it. I always think about Gary Vee, how he started his YouTube channel and got no views and no likes for 5 years. 5 years that man did it. And look where he's at now. And people won't get started because they're worried about what somebody might think about them, and they don't realize that people are too busy thinking about themselves. They don't have time to think about you. So if we can just motivate or inspire somebody just to turn on that camera today and just share their story, I'll sleep better tonight. I don't know about you, but I will.
Yeah. And feel more empowered doing it, Brian. Feel like I want everybody to realize that when you post a video, for example, on YouTube, that it's like making a deposit in an investment account. Yeah. Now, I don't want to overhype this. This is not an income claim. This is not a guarantee of income. I mean, most people who buy any how-to information in the entire world make no money at all. And it's the exact same reason why most people who join network marketing companies make no money. Most people who buy gym memberships make no weight loss. I don't know why. That's just the truth. But the way I look at it is every time I post a video, every time I do a show like this, and it's not only being streamed to a couple of hundred people live, but also we upload it on YouTube, podcast, we email it out. It gets seen by a couple of thousand, maybe 10,000 people over the first couple of weeks. And then probably maybe many more. We'll track the stats and see. We always do. It's always amazing. It's always more than what we think it's going to be. But that's a micro investment. Mm-hmm. It's a micro investment into our overall traffic and business building strategy. Us as me. That's my contribution strategy, if you will. It's my long-term investment account, because the more content that I put out in a consistent, and like you guys can see what I'm doing here, it's consistent, it's themed, I'm not just flopping all over the place. I'm not talking about something different one week, e-com, Amazon, right? I'm focused on a topic. And the way that I look at it is every video that I post is a little investment, because that video is going to get some views and it might get tons of views. But either way, that's likely going to bring some sort of engagement, commitment. Maybe somebody's going to spend some money with our company because they said, wow, these guys are legit. Like, this is good stuff. Like, I want to learn from these guys. We're going to make sales, etc. So if you guys could look at your, it always makes me more motivated to do things when I can have an idea of what the outcome is going to be, right? It makes me more motivated to put money into an investment account if I have an idea of what that can actually produce. And sometimes I've done that. I've said, well, do I really want to put money in an investment account? But I'll get out an investment calculator. You can just get out an investment calculator on Google, and you can put in, okay, if I can get $1 million in this thing over the next 5 years, right? Say 10 years, right? Let's say I have a goal to make $250,000 a year, and I can get $100,000 into an investment account. After 10 years, I have $1 million. And that $1 million, if I'm just making 10%, is going to create $100,000 worth of income for me interest and I keep my principal. So that makes me more excited to put money into the account when I know what it's going to do. But sometimes it's difficult for us to know what a YouTube channel is going to do or what a TikTok account's going to do. But you can look around if you pay close attention and you can see that, wait, hold on a second. This person over here has built their TikTok channel up to 50,000 followers and they're working full time. So likely they're probably making between 5 and 10,000 a month. They're not spending any ads. So now all of a sudden they've got leverage. They've got, passive. It's not totally passive. They're still, but you guys get what I'm saying. They've got a leveraged, a cash flow, Grant Cardone, cash flow, right? They've got a cash flow wealth generating machine that now from that machine I can take and then put money into real estate or put money into stocks. I think it helps, Brian, when we can sort of have an idea of what it will do for us if we put the work in. And what I'm laying out here is a frame to see this work as not just something that's going to produce a result today or tomorrow. And if it doesn't, no, it's not working, but a frame to say that each video you post is like putting $10 in an investment account, like right. Hypothetically. How does that analogy fit with you? How does that feel? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love your passion about it. It makes total sense. It's thinking about the long game. I mean, obviously we got to work on the short game, but we got to think about the long game. I like to use sports as analogies. You get the ball on your 20-yard line, you got to make the first downs, right? But your ultimate goal is to score the touchdown. Now, the cool thing here is that you get, with your leverage, you get to determine what the touchdown means. It could be 6 points, it could be whatever it means to you, but that's what you keep working towards. So to me, is as long as you're waking up every day going, look, I'm going to move the ball forward. That's my job today. I'm going to move it forward because my goal is here to score a touchdown. And it does. Sometimes it might move an inch, right? Sometimes it might move 10, 15 yards on a long pass. But as long as you're moving the ball forward, and Dave, what I love what you said is that you're doing things, you're investing in these small micro investments, but it's truly an investment in other people because you got to do this because you're adding value. And like I said, you're very strategic and you don't come out here whimsical and just with the wind. We're going to talk about this today. It's moving towards the goalpost. And that's so important to create that leverage that people want. And I think it's so easy to get distracted today to hear somebody that you admire over here talk about this, or somebody's talking about e-com, or somebody's talking about network marketing, or now we're talking about Bitcoin, right? And it's so easy to get pulled over to the shiny light to start talking about something. Well, when you do that, you lose your audience, you lose your avatar, right? Yeah. Because your avatar is who you want to be talking to. And if you're all over the map, why would anybody want to follow that? Versus somebody's like, look, this is where I'm going. I'm going there high or hell water. Come with me or watch me. And that's where we're going. And that's where I love the leverage. I love where you're focused. And I think when people come here and they don't have a lot of experience, they should just do what you do, or just find themselves one guru or one person that they admire and do what they do, and don't get pulled, put the blinders on and don't get pulled to the side. And you'll watch 90 days, just track 90 days and watch what happens when you stay literally super focused on your goal, the end zone.
Well, I truly believe that the difference between successful and unsuccessful people are a couple of simple pieces, Brian. One being that unsuccessful people are all over the place, like you're describing, starting new businesses, getting new guides, mentors, always thinking that somebody new has the secret that I, need to get from them, constantly disappointed, constantly grass is greener on the other side. And I'm always chasing something that I can never kind of get my, not realizing that they have everything they need inside them. They just really need somebody, if anybody, to help them see that. Now that's that I believe is unsuccessful habits.
Yeah.
Successful people are super focused on a couple of business objectives, right? On a couple of business objectives. So like, for example, a successful affiliates that I've seen, every single one of them is like super obsessed about like growing one channel. Like YouTube, for example, if they get on YouTube, they're like, over the next year, I'm going to test, I'm going to become obsessed. This is like my job. It's full-time, balls to the wall. I'm going to be obsessed about growing this platform. If it's TikTok, I'm going to be obsessed about growing this channel, talking about this one thing and growing this brand and growing this channel. And it's like, and I'm going to do email marketing, like 2 business objectives, right? Not like, I see other people who kind of constantly struggle, and it's like they've not only got multiple businesses, they're not really businesses though, they're just hobbies. They're not actual businesses. They've got multiple things going on. They're always distracted. They're always listening to podcasts from different people, different ideas, all that one person contradicts the other. Then they're paralyzed. They're moving all over the place. They don't have any routine. They don't have any structure. Like if you were to spend a day with me and just shadow me, you'd be like, this dude is the most boring dude in the world, man. Because if you were just sitting next to me, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not hanging out. Like I'm a big time introvert. So I don't hang out a lot, but, dude, I take my kid to school in the morning. I come to our office. I work. I leave at 5:30. I go home. I have dinner with my family. I put my son down, give him a bath, put him down, and then I'm chilling for a little bit. Then I eat the same breakfast every morning, a shake. I have the same thing for lunch every day, like these freshly meals that it's just so boring, but it's like it produces so much results because I'm so hyper focused and my life is so simple that I don't have all these this different drama and distractions from all this different kind of stuff. And I protect my calendar like it's like bro, like it's Fort Knox, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've, so, I think, Brian, the other thing, and we get this a lot coming from like network marketing stuff, is this like beach lifestyle and travel and all this stuff. And it's like, bro, that like when I go on vacations, I go on epic vacations, but I shut everything off for a week and then I just go, but then I come back. I'm not like traveling, trying to work and stuff like that. That's just me. Right. So what sort of things, if we could just have a moment of transparency on your side, what have you struggled with in terms of this focus in the past, and what have you learned from it that's helped you to build better habits to be more focused today?
Yeah, absolutely. It's exactly what you talked about. It's the distractions. It's being pulled in 9 different ways. It's finding in it's believing in your own excuses sometimes, of why you can't versus why you can. And I would say with all the things out there, you see people all the time. I'm going to put on my content out on TikTok, on Facebook, on all the platforms. And like you nailed it, just focus on one platform and just work that. But I've learned many times that when my income goes down or my leverage goes away is because I removed my focus onto what's important, the key things that build my business. And that's, connecting with people through content. And that's really as simplistic as it can be, is that's my job, is to stay dialed in to connect with my avatar. It's not go learn this new thing, because we're being sold to more than we've ever been sold to in our lives. I think the average now is over 200 times you're seeing some kind of ad every day. So you're being constantly pulled, and it takes that militaristic focus of going, look, this is my marching orders. This is what I have to do. I have to dive into Legendary Marketer today, and all the skills I need are in here. I don't need to watch somebody else on YouTube because they're running the ad that pulled me away. I need to stay focused, and it's that discipline, especially in today's world. As well as I do, Dave, 10 years ago, 2005, 2006, there wasn't as many distractions, right? Facebook was brand new, and YouTube wasn't even out there. You weren't pulled in 9 million different ways. So now you've got to have uber discipline. And what are the things that you can do that with? Well, you've got to be very conscious. And this, I hear about you, Dave, you're very present on what you're doing at that moment, and not focus on what you could be, should be, or want to be doing. It's what I'm doing right now. It's learn and apply, learn and apply, learn and apply, and then take a break, and then be focused on what you're supposed to do. Now, you can also go at the same times, look, I'm going to give myself a recess. I'm going to go take 10 minutes, and I'm going to go get in the rabbit hole for 10 minutes, but I got to get back to my focus, because when I focus, and that's how people – you see some people go, well, they did it in 30 days. They made blank amount of money in 30 days. It's because they laser focused. If you're not doing it, it's because you get distracted. And now, like I said, there's many distractions. I remember when I was a police officer building my business, it was when I was building business, it was all business, nothing else. It was not, even when my wife and I have an understanding is that when I'm in my office and I'm working, that's work time. Don't interrupt. Don't let the kids interrupt, because it's work time. But like you, when I'm outside of the business, then I'm full on dad. I'm full on husband. And when we go and we take a vacation, it's full on. I don't need my phone. I want to chill with my family. I want to be that dad. I don't want my kids growing up and say, yeah, my dad was on his phone all the time. I want my dad was there with me, and they'll remember that forever. So I've been there. I've been caught by the shiny light. I've bounced all over the place before, and it's never served me well. And one thing that really helps me, Dave, is what I do today. Well, normally I'll see results from that in 90 days. So I'm always looking 90 days ahead. So what I do today will come to fruition in 90 days. So focus hard today when I'm doing, because you're going to reap the rewards in 90 days.
And similar to a weight loss journey, right, Brian? It's like when you don't see results in the first couple of weeks, it takes 90 days to see results, right? With anything that we do in life. And I think that's one of the reasons why doing stuff like that is so, it is hard. And I think that one of the things that we just need to come to terms with, right, is that it can be hard when we're building a new muscle. It's okay. One of the things we tell our 4-year-old is, you can do hard things. We literally say that to her, right? Because when you do hard things, it then becomes easy, right? For me, building my business and coming to work and doing what I do now is easy for me. It's effortless, but it's because I've already built that muscle. That muscle is so now deeply ingrained. It's thoroughly worked out that, lifting, metaphorically speaking here, lifting 400 pounds every day is effortless to me because I've been doing it. Whereas if somebody else was to try to step right into my shoes and do what I do, it would be really difficult for them to do for the first little while, because they're not used. They'd feel like they were missing out on something, or they'd be, oh my gosh, how are you not taking advantage of all these other opportunities, David? And right, there'd be tons of, they'd have a completely different perspective if somebody was to come sit in my chair right today. They would probably totally screw up everything about my life, how I run my business, everything, because again, they would think, well, Dave, you're missing out. I mean, shouldn't you be you got extra cash? Shouldn't you be sitting around and doing some day trading in the morning, doing some cryptocurrency trading at night? I mean, you could have an e-commerce business selling legendary t-shirts and running ads for that. And I mean, there's so many different things we could do with this brand, right? And they would come into that and they would screw everything up, because to me, all of those things are just distractions. I've got investment mechanisms that I use, real estate, rental properties, investment accounts, but I don't manage that.
Right.
I don't manage that. I have experts and professionals, one being my wife. She runs our real estate side of things. She's better at that than I am. She's better at that. So I also know my limitations. One of the final things I want to say is there's a thing called Dunner-Kruger syndrome or phenomenon, to where when we get good at one thing, or there's a couple of different ways that I interpret it and see it show up in my life. Okay. When I'm good at one thing, so I think I'm good at everything.
Right.
Or I think that I'm better at things than I really am. So I don't know what I don't know. And there's a whole lot of that. I call these people, he knows a little bit about a lot of things. I say that about people who kind of know it all, but they really don't know it all. They really don't know how much they don't know. And I think what's really important for me is to kind of understand my limits, understand what I can handle and what I can't handle, and really be okay saying no to things, because it's going to because if I pursue that thing, it's going to add a whole nother layer of stress and complication to my life that I don't need. And I'm probably not going to be successful with that just because I've had success with this, right? I can't, so another example, Brian, would be, I'm a good entrepreneur, so I could just go start a restaurant and I'll be successful at that. Well, I don't know anything about the restaurant business. I don't know anything about brick and mortar business. I don't know anything about that. I've never run that kind of business. There's one business that I know a lot about, and it's what we teach. Everything else, I don't really know a lot about. So my entrepreneurial advice and wisdom is not particularly transferable over to every industry, right? It's transferable to selling information in any industry, but not all these other different business models. So I also have to really understand that if this is a business model that I'm looking to learn, that there's a certain element of really learning the business. Kind of like when you learn network marketing. Like I learned network marketing too. I kind of really understood that model. It took years, and then I got really good at it. The psychology of it, the psychology of team building, and kind of all this stuff. But just because I think I'm an entrepreneur doesn't mean that I can be successful at everything. So if you've tried Amazon and drop shipping and e-com stuff and agency and all these different things, don't act like they're the same thing, guys. They're not. They're completely different business models. And the reason why we teach selling information and starting with affiliate marketing is because in my eyes, Brian, it is the simplest. It is the simplest way to get started and make a realistic income, have a chance to make some money, and turn it into a real career, a full-time career. I'm ranting a little bit, but I hope that makes sense. I want to get a final word from you. Of course, any thoughts about what I just said, and then sort of some charging orders from you to our listeners, what you would inspire or kind of charge them to go do with their business today.
Absolutely. One of my mentors said to me in the past that with success, there's some requirements. And one of those requirements is there has to be some suffering. Now, the suffering doesn't mean to be pain, but there has to be suffering of discipline. There has to be some pain because what you're going into is you've got to earn certain things. So you have to have the suffering of discipline to learn. And you've got to have the suffering of discipline to stay focused. And it's like anything else in life. If somebody said, hey, I want to be a great golf player, it doesn't just happen. You don't just grab a golf club. I used to be a really good golf player. I haven't played for 3 years because I've been raising kids. I'm getting ready to go play again. And I'm nervous because I'm going to be with my friends that I grew up with playing golf. And I even said to them, I even put the thing out there. I'm like, I haven't played in 3 years. I'm going to be horrible. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, and this weekend, I'm going to go probably hit 300-400 golf balls just so I can see what it feels like again, because it's a discipline. And it's the same thing across the board. If somebody said, hey, I want to go play the piano like Mozart, it doesn't happen overnight. Hey, I want to go be an affiliate marketer like Dave. It doesn't happen overnight. So what I say to you, if you're watching this and you really, really want something more, is dive into Legendary Marketer and focus on that, and focus on moving the ball forward, focus on the training, but then apply it. Learn, do. There's no failing. You got to get that out of your head. You cannot fail here. See, what a failure is to me, failure is that basically you die. That's failure. Now, you're going to learn lessons. You're going to make mistakes, but the failure is if you keep making the same mistake over and over again. But you're going to be trying, you're going to be attempting, because some things that Dave's good at, you're not going to be good at. But there's going to be things that you're going to be good at that Dave's not going to be good at. You got to find your path, use this training, go out, let yourself be out there and just put it out there. Focus on one thing to master that, go on to the next, master that, go on to the next. But do this with compassion, do it with love, do it with the guys to help other people that were in your shoes that need help, and you'll be surprised. And start tracking what you're doing every day. Have a journal. I did today. I spent an hour in Legendary Marketer today, and then I went and applied, and then track and apply, and have the blinders on. Be laser clear focused on taking this to the next level. And when you do that, I guarantee you'll find some kind of success in there. It doesn't mean monetary. Your success might be, hey, I went and did 5 videos this time. Don't focus on the money. Focus on the action, because that's what you can control. You can't control the money. You can control your actions and what you do every day. Focus on that and just be the best version of yourself.
My man, from Marine to police officer, little direct sales thrown in there, to affiliate marketer, dad, husband, and damn near a motivational speaker. Appreciate the inspiration, man. It's been great to chat. Love to hear the evolution of your life in your journey. And I think that you found what you've been looking for, Brian, in terms of the ability to gain that leverage, the ability to share your nuggets and knowledge and wisdom and life experience, both as an affiliate, but also then to grow into creating your own courses, doing coaching, even running events, those core 4 business models that we teach. I can get out my fake crystal ball and see into the future. And I see that in your future, man. And I'm looking forward to kind of seeing and being part of the, that growth and just all those things happening, man. So I got a jet. We'll talk to you soon. Reach out anytime. Let me know if there's anything that I can do for you. Okay. Let's stay connected. And then maybe I can get a commitment from you here on the show that you'll come back here within 90 days and give us another update on your journey.
Absolutely. Would love to.
All right, man.
Thanks,
well, that's Brian Cook, everybody. You guys can look him up. We'll see you later, my friend. Take care. Be legendary, brother.
Thanks.
You guys can look him up on Facebook. He's got a Facebook page called Empowering Humans. Okay. I'm sure you can also find him on, just regular Facebook, maybe even TikTok, but Empowering Humans. I'll drop that link into the chat, and you guys can go and follow him, connect with him, lift him up. There you go. We've got it up on the screen as well. And really, just as I say every day, lift each other up, support each other. When you see somebody creating content, advertising, lift them up, right? Lift them up, comment on their stuff, share their stuff. One final announcement: if anybody's hitting you up here on in your private message because you're watching these shows, trying to sell you their little coaching programs and even putting us down, right? Using that sort of a dirty little tactic. I would invite you to string them out and waste their time as if they were a telemarketer, because they truly are the telemarketers of this industry. So be aware of that, especially if you're new. There's people who are sort of seasoned in this industry, and they kind of try to find new people to sort of get into their inbox and then have little private conversations and sell you different stuff. So it's a free market. I'm all for capitalism. Buy whatever you want, do business with whatever you want. Just be aware that there's some bad actors who don't have your best interest in mind. We do these shows, though, every day, 5 days a week, because we want to deliver value to you publicly, not privately, right? We want to deliver value to you publicly and bring it on people like Brian, who are just so generous with their experience and wisdom. So tune in tomorrow, once again, 10 a.m. Eastern time, for Wake Up Legendary. And if you want a reminder via text message every single morning, as a matter of fact, I just got my reminder this morning. Brian's a fort. There it is. Okay. Little text message. You can text WUL to that number on the screen, and we'll just send you a nice little text message. And no spam, no crap, no BS. Just when we go live in the morning, we'll send you a little text message with a little idea of what the show is about. Peace. Be legendary. Get the hell out of here. Have an absolutely fantastic day.